Welcome to the Penny Z Show, where you get to learn how real people overcame real issues. Get ready to take notes and, most importantly, take action. Here's your host, Penny Z.
Hello, everyone. This is Penny Z with the Penny Z Show. We are focusing on transforming lives one life at a time with real, relevant, and relatable topics. Yet another exciting week on the Penny Z Show. We have a fantastic guest. Today, I have Lisa Thomas. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here with you, Penny.
And I am happy that you are here with me as well. We get to talk and share and be vulnerable and help our listeners out there. But before we do that, I would like to tell everybody we are in a series called Overcoming I'm Not Enough to Becoming More Than Enough. And so I'd like to share with you a little bit of Lisa's backstory and then have Lisa talk to us a little bit about her Overcoming I'm Not Enough story. So Lisa Thomas actually works with people on a regular basis, both personally and professionally, and helping them be a better person. And she does that through energy healing. She's an energy healing expert. She transforms energy she's a transformational, energy healer. She has the privilege of working with talented people from all walks of life. She empowers individuals to reach their full potential by removing their inherited emotional blocks, such as fear of success, fear of failure, anxiety, procrastination, fear of public speaking, false money beliefs, relationship drama, and business stagnation. Everyone deserves to be seen, known, heard for who they are and what they believe in. Lisa's expertise in removing negative energy and inherited patterns empowers people to get their gifts on. She's talented and she's bright in her ideas and in helping the world. Confident and in alignment, she helps with your soul's purpose. Please again, welcome with me, Lisa Thomas.
Oh, what a beautiful intro. Thank you.
Well, Lisa, as we talked about prior to coming on the show, and this series we are in a series called Overcoming I'm Not Enough to Becoming More Than Enough. And so would you just share a story that you've experienced, or maybe something one of your clients have experienced that you've worked with? What was the story?
Well, let's start with my story, not because I think it's all that different than anybody else's, all right? But for me, it held me back. So the story I had is I could not use my spiritual gifts that I was born with. So I'm this way whether I want to be or not, okay? Because if I did, I had a belief that if I in any way made money with my spiritual gifts, then I would lose them. I couldn't get paid and be spiritual. So, I mean, it limited me. I did a lot of other things before I did this. And I had to really overcome it. I had to figure out, why am I not happy? What would I be doing if I could do anything? And look, I'm going to try not to cry, but when we have a purpose on earth, and I believe everybody does, and when we hold ourselves back because we have a belief that it has to be a certain way, or something bad's going to happen to us if we do it differently, then we're not going to be able to fulfill that life purpose. We're not going to have enough joy that's going to make us feel like life is worth it. Okay? Yeah. So I had studied a lot of different holistic methods because it was a hobby of mine. I never planned on having a business until I did a certification program. I'm certified in a lot of things. And to be honest, you do not need spiritual gifts to be a healer. Just know that. But this is where I was able to figure out who I was, is I had to work on a lot of people after I did the test. So I had to have clients. I had to tell people that I was doing this, which was very much out of my comfort zone. Now, the good thing is I couldn't charge during that process, so I didn't have to face that fear yet. But I had to tell people, hey, by the way, do you mind? I had to open my mouth. And what takes 6 months, this is how fast something will happen when you face the fear and you get out of your comfort zone, it's your life purpose. I was certified in this in 2 months. I had seen 30 clients in 2 months because I only had to ask one person. And I didn't even ask them. My acupuncturist said, Lisa, I'll do this. I'll just send you one of my clients. That's all it took. And in the process, I realized that my gift of being clairvoyant, my gift of the clairsensious and the sensory, I smell when there's spirits around, if they had a certain smell to them, if they were smokers, okay? I see, I hear. Well, as a child, that's a burden. There's nothing fun about that, by the way. It's not, people say, oh, Lisa, can you release a block so that I can see? And I'll say, let me tell you what's included in that, because it's not fun. It's not always fun. Well, so my biggest challenge was then getting paid for what I do. So I don't, right? But because I got out of my comfort zone, then you have to trust your body. And for me, when I wasn't getting paid, I realized I was getting really tired. Okay. And I woke up one day and I thought, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, I wasn't accepting payment. There has to be an exchange of energy in any profession we have. So if someone is a people pleaser and they don't want to get paid because they feel like they're supposed to be only of service, they're going to wear out. It's going to show up later in life in all different forms of illnesses. So an exchange of energy in some way needs to take place. And once I realized this, it lifted the burden that I can't be who I am. Just like you just have to trust that when you do something out of your comfort zone, it will work out for you.
Absolutely. And I know that you and I have talked about that in the past as well. And you've even helped me get out of my comfort zone in certain areas. So it is a hard thing to ask for money, especially if you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur. I think a lot of times it's easy for us as humans to sell other people or sell other people's products and services. But then when it comes to selling ourselves and our talent, and our skills and our purpose, we have a tendency of not feeling good enough or not feeling worthy to be able to ask for that. Would you mind sharing just a little bit more of your thoughts on that, as far as helping our listeners out there if they're feeling that right now as they hear what you're saying?
Right. I'm not good enough is something that's going to come and go in life. So you just think of it like a limiting belief on how much money you can make. So let's say hypothetically someone's making good money and then all of a sudden their business kind of slows down and they think, so could be a subconscious story playing in the background. You already have enough, you don't need more. That's like, I'm not good enough to go to a bigger state. I'm not good enough to be seen, or this is good enough. See, they kind of interplay with each other. And there is have you ever met someone, Penny, who's really good in corporate America and they've been very successful, especially females fall in this category?
Oh, yes, I have.
They took a company to another level. They're bright and they're going to retire or they're going to quit, leave that industry, their corporate world, and they're going to start their own business. Oh, it's a whole nother game. Because see, now there's no rules, there's no boundaries. Where in the corporate world, you're set in there, you know what it is, and that A+ achiever is going to exceed the boundaries and prove themselves. But when it's their own business, there's nobody telling them what the rules are. There's nobody giving them a boundary, and they have to give themselves permission. And that's a limiting belief, that they have to have permission from someone else. I'm not enough on my own.
Yeah, and that's something entrepreneurs and myself struggle with, all the time. And it's interesting because I've had my own I'm not enough story, but it was a big story that I've shared with the listeners about, when I was 6 years old. But even in my day-to-day operation now, the Penny Z show or, the company that I'm creating and developing in order to help empower women with financial success. Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Will I be able to reach enough people? And so I understand exactly in our day-to-day world, we have that. And I find that you're right in the sense that we need to know how to manage that every day. I do something that I call stop, drop, and roll. And I stop in my tracks. I embrace the emotion that I'm feeling at that moment. And if I can't always do it because sometimes it comes up in weird circumstances where you're not able to journal, but I try to, as soon as possible, journal my feelings and the experience around that, so that when I stop and then I dropping is kind of a way for me, it's spiritual, it's universal, it's prayer, it's dropping to my knees, it's writing and journaling, but it's also exploratory. It's like, what is going on around these feelings that I'm having about this not feeling good enough in this experience? And then when I'm able to kind of go through that process, I'm able to shift my mindset and kind of roll away from the old way of thinking to the new way of thinking. So I have a process I called stop, drop, and roll. I'm curious to know if you personally have a process, or in working with your clients, what kind of process do you recommend based on what you were saying, that we all have that, we all experience it?
We all have it. So I believe that things get trapped in the energy system 3 different ways. Okay. One, we inherit patterns. We inherit our gifts and talents from our lineage, our mom and dad, and we inherit trauma energy. And it's in our epigenetics, which is the DNA code. We all have a DNA code. It's our personal one, but within there we have our epigenetics. And that's how they're called informational tags. And it's how it's processed down, or it's passed down through the cell memory. So it's based on how our ancestors lived their lives. So that's one way. The second way is the subconscious, who thinks it's our, it's our operating system, will trap emotions in our lifetime because it's trying to protect us. And then the third way is we, by the time we're 7, have created our own energy blueprint. And it's not always exactly who we are. It's based on how we've been treated and how we interact with the world around us. Okay. So when I teach a lot of crystal children, empathic children, and adults, okay? Because if you're an empath, you're picking up people's energy, you're taking it in. And this is one thing you can do. You can say to yourself, so let's say you are in the grocery store, okay? And you're walking by the apple department in the fruits and vegetables, and you pick up that somebody might be having a bad day, but you ignore it and you just keep going. And before you know it, your happy-go-lucky attitude is, yeah, you're kind of tired and not feeling great, but you already forgot about the person over there in the apples, okay? So when you go from I feel great to I don't feel great, and you're trying to figure it out, say to yourself, is this mine or someone else's? You could say, is this my truth or someone else's? Because it's really going to help you identify that you're picking up other people's stuff. And I really don't believe we have to carry that around. We do not need to. That's one way. And I'm very proactive in disrupting negative brain chatter. Like we live in this negative brain chatter and I'm not enough. Now that can be because we inherited shame. Oh, good. Shame is an emotion. You don't walk around going, oh my gosh, I feel shameful. But it's an emotion that gets handed down very easily. And it's caused by humiliation. It's caused by an ancestor being humiliated, an ancestor losing their financial fortune. It can be, a relative that was an opera singer. And when they wrote her up in the newspaper, they called her out on not having a great performance. And so, a feeling of shame, embarrassment, humiliation. When we feel that, when we inherit that emotion, it will cause us to believe that we're not worthy of more. So it'll cause us to believe that no matter how educated or uneducated, we're never worthy to be an expert. So if you have that syndrome of I'm never worthy to be the expert because there's somebody that knows more than me, there's some inherited shame going on there. And it'll come up with as, I have a client who came to me now. Most people, it's a huge achievement if you have a PhD, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's right? Like, I think a college education is a huge achievement. A master's. Not only did he have 1, he had 3 PhDs and still had not accomplished what he wanted to do. He had been offered multiple times to work on it as a teacher on a university level, turned him down for one reason or another. See, we'll always attract in a reason not to do something. Mother's sick. We always have a reason. To this day, well, until recently, he was unemployed, had 3 PhDs. That's an extreme example of how a limiting "I'm not enough" will hold us back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and also it's not only I'm not enough, but it's what you had talked about in your intro. It's fear. You know,
Yeah.
it's fear of success. It's fear of failure. It's fear of being judged. You know, there's
Fear of rejection.
rejection. I was on a show earlier today, and we were talking about karaoke confidence, and I was sharing with them that I was with a mentor group, and I had to pick something I was fearful of, and between retreats, I had to accomplish that. And the thing that I picked, somebody said, "Well, why don't you jump out of a plane?" And I was like, "I'm not afraid of that." And yet, the thing I chose was I had to sing a song in karaoke in front of a group of people. And I can just,
Wow.
I feel, you know, when you're afraid of something, you can feel it in your body,
Yes,
and your
you
body
can.
just cringes, and your stomach is going, and you're sweating, and you're
You get
nervous,
knock-kneed.
and you're like, and I thought about it after I actually had accomplished it. You know, I'd
Yeah.
gone through the fear, and I took lessons, singing lessons,
Nice
I
job.
got myself prepared. But I was thinking about it logically. I'm like, okay, which one really could have killed me? Jumping out of a plane or singing karaoke in front of someone?
Yeah.
Probably jumping out of a plane could have.
It could
but my
have.
brain didn't know right or wrong, or fear or not
It does
fear
not.
from jumping out of a plane. It just knew that I was going to potentially be judged
And
and
embarrassed and
embarrassed
humiliated
or
and made
something.
fun of and
Yeah.
judged. Yeah, laughed at.
Yeah. And so the overcoming I'm not enough and empowering yourself. And so what I was sharing was to you know, the audience and to our audiences, if there's something you're feeling fearful, obviously it's not unethical, immoral, or, you know, it
Right.
isn't, you know, going to really hurt you, you know, that's the thing that you want to pass through. That's the thing that you want to,
That's what you want to do.
that's what you want to accomplish. So
Mhm.
so, you know, the interesting thing for us here on the Penny Z Show and having Lisa today is that what she does in her world, in her career, is helping people overcome all of these feelings. And so she shared with us a little bit, but I'd love, Lisa, for you to share more about what it is that you do, what your company is, how do you help people? Just give a little bit more
Okay.
to our listeners.
Okay. I want to give a amazing tip for you if you go into negative chatter. Okay. So,
Yes.
all right. This is what you do. Now it's anything negative. It's anything the mind goes to. This is what I want you to say. Cancel, cancel. Only love is spoken here. Cancel, cancel. Only love is spoken here. And this is what will happen. When we live in self-abuse and this negative chatter in our head, think of the old Star Wars movies where Luke Skywalker is in between the building and he's in his own fighter plane and he's being shot at from left and right and front and back. That's our brain shooting these negative thoughts into our head, right? And when you say cancel, cancel, only love is spoken here, it's going to lift you up. It's going to put you on the top. And with time, that negative neural pathway will close. It's 100% efficient. It 100% will get you out of that. And before long, when you get in the habit of doing it, you'll be like, what was I thinking? Because your brain will get on autopilot and it will protect you. It'll start to protect you and you'll go, hey, wait a minute. So for me, I actually recently, I went into that and I'm like, what was I thinking about? I started to think about an old boyfriend that had really hurt me. Okay. And it was like, why am I even thinking? Why was I thinking that? It didn't even matter. I didn't even go there. But I had to pause and go back to figure out what it was that I was stopping.
Absolutely.
Okay? Yeah.
Yep. Well, and I will tell the listeners that I have had a session with Lisa. I highly recommend it. And that was one of the phrases that she closed with my session on. And I have it on my refrigerator as a positive affirmation to remind myself. So thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
I believe in you. I believe in what you do. And I'm just excited to have you on the show. So we are getting close to wrapping up. So I'd like to ask two things. First off, if you have any final words of wisdom or tools or techniques for our listeners in general? It could be on the topic that we're talking or just in general. And then how do our listeners find you to have a conversation, to follow you, to get to know more about you and what you do in your business?
All right. Just know that if you have children, okay, anybody, that when they inherit things, you didn't pass it down to them on purpose, just like your parents didn't pass things down to you. By clearing an inherited pattern, it clears it from you and it clears it from your family, whether they're alive or not. So it'll clear from your children, it'll clear from those on the other side of the veil. So it's a beautiful gift. It heals lineages, and it's not hard to do, is it, Penny? It's not like complicated. We're not like in deep therapy. Trauma energy isn't brought up in trauma, but it can get cleared. So you can work with me one-on-one. I also have a membership program that I'm almost finished on, which will include group healings on a monthly basis, live. They'll be done on Zoom. And I did just write a book for women, Penny. Can I promote that for just a second?
Absolutely. Please.
It's called Mistakes into Money. And it's written for women because we get hung up in our stuff, in our mistakes, more than men do. It's not that they don't, but women do primarily. Where if we've been divorced, if we've had financial loss or a bankruptcy, right? That we take these mistakes and we create these stories that I'm too old to do something. Nobody's going to want me. And I teach techniques on how to clear it, on how to identify it and release it.
Absolutely. Now, how can people get your book?
You can just go to mistakesintomoney.com. There's a landing page. It is in the absolute final edit. I have a book here, but found some errors. So it's in final edit. I have a website, Lisa Thomas Energy Healing. That's easy to find. And you can send me an email. It's on, sign up on my website and you can talk to me. I can tell you if I can help you. See, I believe there's always room for more. I believe that if you want to make money, money can be fun. And I always believe, and I really believe there's more abundance out there. I believe if you want love, you have to have self-love first. I know that's kind of a trigger for some people, but I believe that when you get comfortable with yourself, love will show up. And clearing around that. You absolutely can do this type of clearing for anything that you desire, either more of or to get rid of in your life.
Absolutely. Well, Lisa, I think we might have some collaboration moving forward because you can help the women with their money mindset and I can help the women figure out how to become financially free.
I love that.
So,
yes.
So we have a focus on women and mindset and money mindset, but maybe we approach it from different angles. So there might be some collaboration moving forward. I'd love to chat with you a little bit more about that. But everyone, this is Penny Z. We are wrapping up yet another exciting episode with Lisa Thomas.
Thank you.
We will have all of Lisa's information on our website on www.thepennyzshow.com. We will also be promoting Lisa on our Facebook page, LinkedIn, Instagram, and our social media so that you will be able to find her, reach out to her, and have an interesting conversation with her like I have in the past. And we just encourage everyone. We are here to transform lives one life at a time. And this is Penny Z signing off. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks, Lisa.
Bye, Penny.
Thank you so much for listening. If you want to hear more, including specific ways to empower yourself, go to thepennyzshow.com.